Good morning. I hope you all enjoyed those songs. They were quite beautiful. So, our series continues. Okay, dreaming the bigger you and giving and receiving. Now, I'm going to pull this down just a little bit so it's out of my eyesight. We're all pretty familiar with the law of giving and receiving. And if you're not that familiar with it, I'm sure you have an idea, just in the verbiage. And it's basically, as we give, we'll receive. Pretty simple. Sounds simple anyway, right? But I don't think we realize the true power within it, the breadth and depth of it that it holds because of the energy that we tend to put into it day in and day out. Because if we did, we might not do it the way we are. Now, it's a law that we actually have to take action. We have to do something to get it in motion, to start it up, to activate it. And it's kind of funny because some of the things that we do to get it going, we kind of say, okay, I'm going to give here, but then we put other energies into that giving. We put limitation on top of it. We put restriction. We put obligations, commitments. And once we get all this stuff piled up, then we create, and it's like, ooh, we don't care for what we just created. And we go, what the heck just happened? Well, who wants limitations, restrictions, obligations, and commitments? Any of you? I don't. We got enough going on in the world. We don't need all of that. So, for some reason, though, we, as beautiful divine children, make things more complicated. We like to challenge ourselves. Maybe we think we need to strive and try harder. But a lot of times it's simple. And if we could go back to the basics of the law and apply only that, our life would run so much smoother, And sometimes, I shouldn't say sometimes, but a lot of the time, I think about what is God thinking when he watches us run around and do these things. Laughter, see? I think God is up there and he has to giggle sometimes at some of the things we do. But, I know there's got to be a sense of humor there somewhere. But I guess because of that, God decided that we needed a helping hand. And it starts from the very beginning. When we first come into this world, we are gifted with life. Now that's a heck of a gift, and it's pretty astounding. And think about how much love we have to possess at that moment in time to receive such an immense gift. So if you've ever wondered what your capability of love is, think about that. It has to be gigantic to hold that vibration, to synchronize with the energy of God, to bring in life in that moment. What a gift. What a gift. And we receive it through love. Now, we come into this world and we make plans before we come in, right? We know that on the other side we say, okay, God, put me back in. I want to clean up this karma and I want to work on that. And I've got these beautiful gifts that I want to bring in and share with the world. And we have these plans all set up, and we're born and we start interacting with everything around us. And slowly we start losing touch with those dreams and those expectations and those plans. And they become less clear. And in that moment, we start making plans that serve us here on the world. We start buying into only the consciousness of the world, and we lose our total connection with spirit. We start making plans that will serve us here on this earthly plane. And this is just part of our human condition. It doesn't mean that you're bad, that we're terrible. It happens to each and every one of us to some degree or another. But it doesn't mean that that connection is not there. It's still there. We've just kind of turned away from it a little. Now, most of us, growing up, I can't say all of us, but most of us when we grow up, we're taught that when we receive, if we receive something, it's not good, right? We're taught giving is better than receiving, right? So why do you think that is? Do you think it's because if we receive, we're taking something from someone else? Are we greedy? Is it that we feel we need charity and we don't want to be in that position? Why do we have such an issue on receiving? The interesting thing, no matter what idea or what thought comes through you, what you were taught, we can't have one without the other. So when we give, we receive. It's like breathing. Have you ever tried to breathe out only? It does not work, believe me. At some point, you have got to breathe back in, okay? There are two halves that create a whole. To give, you have to have somebody receive. And to receive, you have to have somebody that will give. And like breathing, it supports and sustains our lives. We become bigger and better because of it. Now, it's also choice. We can choose to participate in giving and receiving. We can also choose how we participate in giving and receiving. Our thoughts and intentions determine how it is we give. Have you ever thought about sometimes it's easier to give to this person than it is to that person? Or maybe it's easier to give your time than it is finances. Maybe it's opposite. It's easier to give finances than your time. And what about receiving? How do you deal with receiving? When somebody gives you something, do you feel obligated? Do you do you feel indebted? Do you feel like, oh, I don't deserve this? You know? Depending on how you receive and how you give is the energy and the thought that you're putting into it. Okay? So if you want to receive bigger, you've got to give bigger. And that doesn't mean that, oh my gosh, I need to give, turn my pockets out and give everything. That's it. What I'm saying is give greater in consciousness. Go within and connect to that higher self, that spark, that loving energy, and give from the heart. And then you are going to receive. You're going to receive without the conditions, without the restrictions, without the limitations. So it's kind of like, okay, the story of the Good Samaritan. We all know that one, right? And he didn't wait to be asked. He immediately went into action. He gave his energy, he gave his time, and he gave his money to support that beautiful divine being. And with no expectation. No, you need to pay me back for this. And then the widow's mite. She gave all the coin that she had, knowing that God was going to support her in her need. So let me get, I want to read, it's Luke 6, and it's verse 38. And Jesus, he's been talking, and he's with his disciples, and they've gone out into the plains, and people have started gathering around. And this is just one verse that he shares. Give, and it will be given to you. Give, and you will receive. Good measure shaken down and running over. They will pour into your robe. Give abundantly, and you will receive abundantly. For with the measure that you measure, it will be measured to you. The energy in which we give is the energy that will return. We will receive in like kind. Now, all of these stories come from the same consciousness, a consciousness of connection, where source is there, is plentiful. They know that by giving, it will automatically come back and more. They are giving freely, lovingly. They have open hearts. There is no fear. And so I want you guys to think about the service title, Dream the Bigger You, Give and Receive. Dreaming. Sometimes we don't always support somebody in their dreams. And a lot of times we do that with our children. But we're not trying to be mean. We're trying to be sensible, right? Okay? We tell them, okay, you need to go to school. You need to get good grades. Keep in mind that you got to pass all these. And then they go on to college, and it's like, don't get involved with all this stuff. Keep your focus, your head down, stay focused on all this. Get ahead. And, we're trying to teach them. We tell them, this is how you get ahead in the world. But is that really what we want? Don't we want them to get ahead in life? Not just the world. We want them to have a fuller foundation to expand who they are. So when we allow our children to dream, and even ourselves, what we're doing is allowing our spirits to fly, to soar, and be creative. And who knows what they're going to come up with. New ideas, new thoughts, new ways of doing things. And that's what we came here for, to experience all that. And it starts with a dream and letting go of restriction and limitation. When we take action and put this dream into reality, bring it forth, we give ourselves the opportunity to receive bigger. And it doesn't matter whether your dream's small, whether your dream's large. It's going to have an impact on you. In one way or another, it's going to impact you. And when that happens, it changes and shifts things within you. And you then have an impact on the people around you, your loved ones, people walking by. You ever have somebody walk by and you smile at them and you say hi, and you meet eye to eye and you can just see that glimmer of love and life. You have just gifted them with the acknowledgement that they are here on this earth. You say, I see you, I see your light, and I acknowledge that you are of value. And we don't know how that affects them, but it has an effect. It may be something as simple as, yeah, thank you. Gratitude. But it may be something that they are in need of. There are people that don't feel valuable. There are people that need to be acknowledged. They need to feel love. Even though we came through with all that immense love at the beginning of life, sometimes we restrict it. And we have an opportunity to share our gifts and our love with others, even if they're a stranger going by. Just in that one single moment, you may change somebody's world. We just never know how it's going to affect them. So as we dream bigger, we give bigger. And most of us have had interesting lives, right? And mine's no exception. And I just wanted to share a couple stories. When I was a preteen, my truth was people could not be trusted. And I could only depend on myself. And that's kind of sad. And it doesn't make me any different than anybody else. Because a lot of us go through it at one point or another and feel that, unfortunately. And then a friend came by. Or she wasn't a friend at that point. Her name's Celeste, and she just had this bubbling laughter and light and smile. She had an open heart, and she was willing to listen to me. She acknowledged my existence. She showed me trust. She showed me love. She showed me gratitude. And those were things that my life had been missing. And it was such an awesome experience to have. The gift that she gave me was so valuable. I couldn't put a price on it, you know? It was needed in that moment. Sorry. But unfortunately, life jumped in and we lost track of each other, you know, and a lot of years went by, and she had been looking for me. And in mid-2000s, she found me on Facebook, of all things, you know, and we reconnected. And at that moment in her life, she was going through some challenges. And I was able to be that friend and show her the friendship that she showed me. Sorry, I didn't have this happen earlier. But I mean, it's such an experience to be able to give back to somebody what they have given you when it moves you so much, you know? And I did. And that doesn't always happen. We don't always get to experience that. You know, and to this day we talk to each other once a week, you know, and we are both grateful for the love and energy that we can give and receive from each other. It's a flow, and it goes on continuously. And we experience synergy from it, you know? Another story is when I was very young, gosh, I must have been maybe 7. We had a family gathering. We were out in the desert in California at a ranch, one of my uncle's ranches, and there were families. I can't tell you how many families. There were tons of people there, you know, and goats and horses and you name it. And all of us kids had been swimming all day long, and it had finally, you know, become dusk, and they ran us out of the pool and locked it up, shut the gate and all. And I don't know what time it was. You could still see. It was light enough that you could see, but somehow or other, I managed to wander back over by the pool. And there was this little girl, and she must have been about 4, maybe. And she was over at the pool, leaning over, and she fell in. And there was nobody around. All the parents were out on the other side of the area at the barbecue, you know, and having a good time. And I saw her, and I immediately went in. And I wasn't running or anything. I remember feeling very calm. And I had been swimming since I was like in diapers, so I wasn't worried about the pool. But I leaned over and I asked her, "Are you okay?" And caught eye to eye. I wanted to make that connection so I could see. And because she spoke Spanish and I only spoke English, so we weren't going to communicate verbally. And I remember looking at her, and I let her have a little time, and she was, you know, and giving me that look, and I went, okay. So I mean, this is something that just had to have come through from other lifetimes, knowing what to do. I laid down on the concrete, hovering over from my, you know, waist, and reached out and grabbed her and pulled her back in. And you know, she got out. She was a little shocked, and she wanted to go get Mom, you know. And she took off, and I got up and went out. And, you know, later on, we were all around the parents. And I remember seeing her with her mom and dad, and she tugged at her mom's pants and looked up. And I know she said something. I could see her mouth moving. And then she pointed at me. And I went... and I hid. I went behind my parents. I was like, oh, no. I could not receive that gift that she wanted to give me. I was not capable in that moment in time. I had learned that having a light shined on you was not always good. So, what is it that you're hiding from when the light shines on you? There's one more that I like to share, and that's about our Reiki train and Reiki requests. There are a lot of people in this room, a lot of people that aren't here, that are on the Reiki train email, that are on the texting Reiki requests. And I can say that I have participated and sent Reiki, sent love, light, energy. Stop in that moment and just connect and send it to the situation, the person, whatever is going on. And in the same turn, I have been on it texting, I need Reiki now. As a matter of fact, just the other day I had a request in. And you know what? These people are giving of themselves freely, unconditionally. And it's amazing what is happening. We are seeing energy being transformed to where the matter is taking on new shape, new creation. Illnesses are being healed. People are just having miracles happen in their lives because of the synergy that's experienced from all these people coming together for one purpose and sending out their love and light to help their brother and sister. It's beautiful. It's a synergy that we all want to be a part of. So we create. It's up to us what energy we use to create. And as I said before, when we do that, we connect. We not only connect with the people that we're with and creating with and near, we actually affect and impact the whole. Raise consciousness. We are that powerful that we can shift the whole. So how is it you want to shift the whole? It's our choice to participate, and at what consciousness are we going to participate? So, if you feel like you would like to have a little more love, a little more friendship, if you'd like to feel the value of yourself, if you would like more finances, look at how you're giving and how you're receiving, and do it at a greater level. Dream the big you in giving and receiving. So let's take a breath and close our eyes and go within. And just let that deep breath come in and release. And God, we ask to feel your love and light move over us. And just feel that column of light coming over you. The love just filling your entire body. And now I want you to move down from your head, slowly, slowly into your heart. And when you get to your heart, I want you to open that door. And as you open that door, Jesus the Christ is standing there waiting for you. And he holds out his hand for you. And you place your hand in his. And then you look down at your feet and you notice you're barefoot. You're standing in warm sand. And Jesus leads you across this beautiful beach. You can feel the sun just shining on you. There's calm waves just lapping at the shoreline. And you feel your connection. I want you to look at Jesus in his eyes and just feel the love that he has for you. And just let it wash over you. He is there supporting every bit of who you are And then feel yourself drawn to the water now. And I want you to take 3 or 4 steps in to where you're at least knee deep. And it's warm and it's soothing. And it's just a gentle wave coming in and out. You feel the flow. You feel the warmth of the sun. And now look out into the horizon. And as you do, off in the distance, you see a sail. It's quite hard to make out. And slowly it comes a little closer. And then you see another sail, and another, and another. And they're just slowly moving in, but keeping their distance. Those sails in the distance are your dreams, your desires. Some are the gifts that you wanted to bring into this world this lifetime. I want you to take a moment and go within to your heart and just feel the love in your heart expanding and growing bigger and bigger. And as it expands now, I want you to take it as a ray of light and send it to all those sails in the distance. You may see some of them change color. Some may become brighter. Maybe it's just a white light. But send your love to those dreams, those gifts, those plans that are held by you. And now I want you to look down at the water. Continue holding that beam of light to the sails. But notice the water, how it's supporting you, flowing in and out. And I want you to send your love to the water. And as that water is hit with your love and light, it just beams out across the top, flowing out to meet those sails. And now they're being supported also on your emotions, on your ideas, your creativity. And as all this flows from you, Jesus walks up beside you and sends his energy into the same things. He's helping co-create with you. All is supported in love and light. And as you look at your heart, I want you to see that energy becoming a large sphere. And let that sphere come out into your hands. And I want you to send your gratitude for all the things that have been supported in your life, for all the gifts that you have to give, and all the things that you will receive. And now you release that sphere and it goes up, up, up into the universe where it is held and supported and continues to send its love and light. Turn to Jesus and thank him for his help, for his love. And now it's time to go. And feel yourself moving out of the water, back on the sand, and out the door of your heart. Take a breath. Feel yourself in the chair. And slowly open your eyes. Take your dreams into the world. Give your gifts. Receive abundantly. God bless you all. Yea, God.